So most of us have been there at one point. You either need a cheap computer, your main computer is broken and you need something cheap to replace it, or something to use until you can get it fixed. So the question is, can you use a 10-year-old laptop on a daily basis? So this is our 10-year-old laptop. It's a HP Pavilion G6 1372EA, and it's something that appears quite regular on online selling pages and local car booths. It comes with, as standard, with a dual-core Pentium B960 running at 2.2 GHz, 6GB of DDR3 RAM and a standard hard drive. Now let's get into how I obtained this laptop. I got this from my great aunt who had upgraded to a brand new laptop after this one had died. What had failed on this laptop was the cooling fan, as when it booted up, that was the BIOS warning. You could press enter to skip this error, but the laptop would overheat after about 5 minutes and then shut off. Another issue with the laptop was that it didn't have a battery. My great aunt said it never had a battery, even though it was brand new from PC World, so I know it would have had one at one point, but she must have taken it out because it had died or something. So to get this laptop fully working, I installed a new cooling fan, which can be purchased from eBay for around £5, and I managed to pick up a battery from Amazon for £9.50 after a nice Amazon discount voucher. But with old laptops like this, these are the things that usually go first and need to be replaced. Anyway, after these were installed, an SSD was needed to be fitted, as the weak dual-core Pentium needs all the help it can get. Thankfully, I had a 120GB SSD lying around with the bloated version of Windows 10 installed already, so there was no messing around with installing Windows on this laptop. However, it wasn't all plain sailing with getting this laptop up and running again. So with these HP laptops that are very annoying to get the CPU out and anything to do with it, like the cooling fan. That's as the cooling fan is on the bottom of the motherboard, meaning you need to remove all the underside screws, remove the top plate, unplug 2 ribbon cables, remove a few motherboard screws, unplug cables attached to the motherboard, and then you can flip the motherboard upside down to get to the CPU and cooling components. I have no idea why these laptops have been designed like this, but many of them from this age are like this. Even Budget Build has talked about this in a recent video on another HP laptop. Anyway, I used this laptop after it was fixed for around a month as my daily work laptop to see how it was to use. For basic tasks it was very good. Writing documents and general web browsing was quick with no slowdown. However, I did start to see some slowness and slowdown with other tasks like loading spreadsheets and Microsoft Teams, were also slow at loading for some strange reason. It was also quite hard to multitask on this laptop. I didn't try any games on the laptop, but with the slowdown, these tasks and the weak dual-core Pentium paired with equally poor Intel HD graphics, I thought there wasn't much point of trying to run games on this laptop. Anyway, after the laptop was like this for about a month, the trackpad and mouse buttons stopped working all of a sudden. I reinstalled the drivers, which fixed this for a day, and then it stopped working again. However, the laptop started being strange again as I reinstalled the trackpad drivers again and it didn't work. Everything I tried hasn't got the trackpad working again since. But with these old laptops you pick up for free or cheap from places, there is usually a reason why they're being sold or are cheap, and that's because they have strange issues like this. Anyway, I got around this issue by buying a cheap external wireless mouse, which did the job and meant I didn't need to buy a new top plate to replace the mouse pad. But I did want to try and see how far I could push this old laptop to show you what can be done with old laptops like this. So I looked online to find out the CPU could be upgraded on this laptop up to an i7-2620M, which would give us a massive boost in performance. Saying that the current dual-core Pentium is the weakest part of the system, so I picked one up for £30 and installed it. And I can confirm after a month of using it that the slowdowns I was seeing have completely stopped and everything on the laptop is quick and snappy, including multitasking. So let's see how it performs in some games. First up is Dirt 3. I know this is a fairly old game now, but it has really impressive visuals that hold up today. The game also seems to play nice with older hardware like what we're using today. We ran the game at 720p resolution with the low preset and MSAA ×2. The laptop managed an average frame rate of 25 FPS, a 1% low of 14 FPS and a 0.1% low of 5 FPS. However, if you wanted to play this game on this laptop with the closest to 30 FPS settings, you can choose the ultra low preset, but it will mean the visuals won't look the best. Next up was Sonic Mania. We ran this game at 720p. We got an average of 60 FPS, a 1% low of 58 FPS and a 0.1% low of 58 FPS. As we know, this game is easy to run and I expected this laptop to perform like this. The next game I tried was Halo the Master Chief Collection, which failed to run and gave me an error message, which seems to point to there being some missing features that are not present on our Intel HD 3000 graphics. Finally, I ran CloudGate on 3D Mark, which gave us an appalling score where it really doesn't give it anything to compare against, but as you can see, we're averaging around 14 FPS, so yeah, it's not great. To conclude, can you game on an upgraded laptop from a decade ago? The answer is mainly no. You can play games that are like round about pre-2010 fine, as well as indie and old style games that have just come out, but you will not be able to play anything that is AAA or modern, or both really. Then the laptop would be fine at running basic games like Sonic Mania and Roblox, but it's just good really as a day-to-day laptop. The graphics are really what lets this laptop down in game performance. Also for day-to-day use as well, I must say that the keyboard is terrible. It has so much flex that you'll press down on a key and the actual keyboard will move and you won't end up putting an input in. So that is another downside to this particular laptop. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you all in the next